Good morning, class. My name is Jacob Walters. For my doctoral work, I am considering studying some aspect of premillennial dispensationalism and its development in the United States. For this assignment, I have chosen two dissertations. One written in 1970 by Paul Clifford Wilt, titled Premillennialism in America, 1865 to 1918, with special reference towards social reform. The other dissertation, written in 2010 by Alan Thomas Turliff, is titled Inventing the Rapture, the Formation of American Dispensationalism from 1850 to 1875. Now, a little background on dispensationalism. In the popular Scofield Reference Bible, C.I. Scofield describes dispensationalism by dividing human history into 7 sections, each centered around God's relationship to mankind as seen through the lens of the nation of Israel. The central theme of these dispensations is mankind's sin and God's redemptive plan. For example, the dispensationalism of innocence lasts from Adam's fall in the garden and culminates in Adam's expulsion from the Garden of Eden, thus beginning the dispensation of conscience that was characterized by man's guilt and the institution of animal sacrifice. Premillennialism is an aspect of dispensational thinking that theorizes a premillennial rapture of the saints and the physical return of Jesus Christ prior to the beginning of the final dispensation, which involves a restored earth with Christ reigning over it along with the church. George Marsden, in his book titled Fundamentalism and American Culture, says that each dispensation represents some change in how God deals with man that results in a new test of the natural man. Marsden states that mankind invariably fails these tests, which results in judgment and the institution of a new dispensation. Additionally, dispensationalism requires a unique view of the physical nation of Israel in God's ordering of future events. Ernest Sandine says, in an article called A Historical Interpretation of the Origins of Fundamentalism, that the early people of Israel and the spiritual community of the church must be sharply distinguished, that each have promises which must be distinguished and kept separate. Okay, so Wilt, in his dissertation, examines the effect of premillennial dispensationalism on churches and their attitude towards social reform. The basis of his study is the idea that because premillennial dispensationalists believe that the world is headed for disaster in the form of the Antichrist and Armageddon, social reform is either not feasible or not practical, or both. He does this by searching the writings of some prominent 19th century premillennialists for clues of their willingness to become involved in social reform in areas like charity, education, and politics. What he finds is that contrary to what many scholars have said, many premillennialists did engage in social reforms, some out of a desire to actually see society reformed, and some out of an evangelical sense of duty. Turliff's dissertation focuses on studying dispensationalism to determine why it has become so widely accepted within mainstream fundamentalism and evangelicalism. His central idea is that early dispensationalism was a reaction to modernist theology, which was also becoming popular at this time. He accomplishes this by examining the writings of prominent dispensationalists like John Nelson Darby and James H. Brooks. He also looks at the Civil War and World War I as sort of a catalyst that fueled the apocalyptic visions of dispensationalists at that time, and these kind of visions and ideas that are common in the dispensational imagination. Additionally, he points out how the fundamentalist reaction to biblical higher criticism, which was to pursue a literal interpretation of the Bible, also drove a literal interpretation of Revelation, which was necessary to the development of both dispensationalism and premillennialism. These two dissertations examine premillennial dispensationalism in order to answer cause and effect issues. I hope to contribute to this body of knowledge by exploring this topic and its effect on American politics after 1945. I hope that you have found this short talk worth your time, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you.